So LeBron might be back this week, but it looks like the Lakers are probably going to be in the play-in game. I'm going to tell you why that might not be a bad idea. All that coming up in just a minute. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. And on this episode, I want to talk to you all about the Lakers possibly playing in the play-in game and why it may not be a good thing for them, but it's a great thing for the NBA. All right, so far it looks like the Lakers might end up in the play-in game with the way that they're playing basketball. And they have, 4 games left. And honestly, if you want to be honest, it probably ain't a good thing for the Lakers. In their mind, it might actually kind of be a good thing. And at the same time, it's a great thing for the NBA. So I talked about this in another show that the ratings have been pretty blah as of late, right? People have been talking about the ratings and how not as many people are tuning in over the last few years. Like this year, the numbers are up. But over the last few years, the numbers have been kind of down based upon the Nielsen ratings. And of course, I've listened to a few people talk about it, and a few people have multiple theories. And I think the one theory that I can't get on board with, and I have my own to go on top of that, is one, there's no fans in the arena. So, of course, no fans. It feels like it gives it more of an energy. There's something to it. Playing ball with people around. Like, for example, the Knicks are good right now. Like, the Knicks is actually a good team. The Knicks are in the playoffs right now. They are the 4th seed, and they're going to make the playoffs. There's no way that the Knicks can screw this up and not make the playoffs unless they lose all 4 of their last games and get kicked out in the play-in game. But there's no way, unless Jesus walks down here and says they can't play, the Knicks will make the playoffs, which is awesome, but it sucks because Madison Square Garden ain't got no fans in it. So you know it would be a different energy if they were there. So I get that theory. And my other theory to go along with that is I feel like, and this has been what's been taxing to me about the NBA this season is, of course, it was rushed, put together, but it feels like the NBA season hasn't stopped since July of last year. You know what I'm saying? There hasn't been a break of basketball. Even though there was like a month and a half break, that didn't really feel like much of a break because they immediately went into the draft and immediately went to free agency and immediately went to the games. Ended in October, draft in November, free agency, and then the season in December. It wasn't a real break for even fans to stop thinking about basketball. Like usually we have months of speculation to be able to do as we know the players are resting in the summer to prep for the next year. And so it's like been sports on sports on sports on sports. It's like we went from not having any sports to a whole bunch of sports, and it ain't stopped since July of last year. It has not stopped. And no shade to baseball, but ain't nobody watching baseball. I mean that's just true. Nobody really talks about it. Summertime when everybody takes vacations mainly because they ain't paying attention to baseball like that. Unless you're a diehard. Dieharders you watch. Regional people you watch. The casual and the casual fan typically eating. And your diehard NBA players fans are watching, and some of them I've said, it's been a taxing year. Like I said, it feels like they've never stopped working. So, and then of course we're not leaving our houses. All that jazz goes into place. But, so the Lakers, of course, dealing with all the injuries they've been dealing with since, like Anthony Davis went down, LeBron went down, Dennis Schroeder's out on protocol. So the Lakers are teetering right now. They are exactly 1.5 game behind the Portland Trail Blazers for the 6th seed. And as of right now, they will be in the play-in. I don't know about y'all. I'm going to keep it gangster. It's kind of a good thing because I think it'll be fun. The Lakers aren't going to pass Portland. Portland would have to lose every game, and the Lakers have to win every game. And the problem that they have is that Portland owns the tiebreaker, because they beat them most recently. Now, LeBron's supposed to come back this week against the Knicks. So there's a chance they may try to go on a run or whatnot. And he's trying to get back into true game shape and prep. But that's kind of where I think the play-in tournament on May 18th might be a good good thing for the Lakers. Now, let me explain how the play-in goes. I've talked about it before. I just want to make sure any new listeners or anything that may want to get a better understanding of how the play-in works. This is how it works. The way the play-in is set up is, in order to make the playoffs, the 7 and the 8 seed have to win one game. At the end of the season, the team that's placed in 7th and placed in 8th have to win one game, and the team that's placed in 9th and 10th have to win 2 games to get in. But so this is how they match it up. 7's going to play 8 at 7's house. 9's going to play 10 at 9's house. The winner of the 7-8 game gets a 7 seed. The winner of the 9-10 game will play against the loser of the 7-8 game. And so the winner of that second round game, takes the 8th seed. So if LeBron and the Lakers play, which right now they're going to play the Golden State Warriors. You can't tell me you wouldn't want to watch that. Just saying. They'll play Golden State. The Lakers lose. They will have to play the winner of Memphis and San Antonio. If it's Memphis and San Antonio. And then the winner of that game takes the 8th seed. And then that seed team will play either the Jazz or the Suns in the first round. This is hands down the best case scenario for the NBA. Now, are there injuries that could potentially happen? Yes, this is a reduced season for a reason, and they have to compress the second half of the season due to the bigger outbreaks of COVID to where they had to reschedule games. Second half of the year, though, the second half has been super compressed. This is why we're seeing a ton of injuries. Like Jaylen Brown just went down. Donovan Mitchell's hobbling. We're dealing with a lot of these injuries, which is hurting a lot of the product. But that's a bad thing, but it's not as bad as we think. I put it like that. But it's not that bad for the Lakers. The Lakers itself, them playing against Golden State in the first round is the best case scenario for the NBA. It's a great thing for them because you're going to tune in and watch the drama. There's going to be nothing but drama with that. And with that, there's a chance that if the Dallas Mavericks lose 3 of their next 4 games, they could fall into that 7 seed. And the Lakers could move up if they win. Right now, the only teams that are definitely in the play-in, that are still in the play-in window, are the Mavericks, the Blazers, the Lakers, Warriors, Grizzlies, Spurs, Pelicans, and actually the Kings are still have a fighting chance. Now, the Pelicans and Kings aren't going to go. The Pelicans are done. Zion's hurt. They're done. Even though it might actually be a good thing he's hurt, but that's not the point. Not as good that he's hurt, but it's probably better for the team. Talk about that some other time. But that's what that looks like. That's just the West. The East, of course, is blasé, but guess what the first round potential is? We've got the Celtics potentially playing the Hornets. LaMelo Ball, which of course everyone's saying just ESPN is raving about. No, everybody's raving about LaMelo Ball. He is worth watching the Charlotte Hornets now. First time we've had a reason to watch Charlotte Hornets has been because of LaMelo Ball. And we have to thank him for that because he's balling. He's making some great passes. He's doing everything we expected him to be at this age. And I'm going to do a video later this week on ESPN's top 25 under 25 most potential. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I've been meaning to get it done and get it put out. I'm going to get that put out and talk about that. I'm going to do that probably for the end of season and go look at their list. But anyway, and then you've got the Pacers and Wizards, which honestly between those two, I don't really care. The Bulls are kind of on the outline, but I don't see the Bulls making it. So it's going to probably be the Celtics since Jaylen Brown's hurt. The Hornets, even though somebody told me that the Celtics are better without Jaylen Brown, but whatever. The Hornets, the Pacers, and then the Wizards in the East. And like I said, unless the Knicks just plummet to the bottom and just lose every game for the rest of the season, all 4 of their games, they're going to make the playoffs and they're probably going to stay a 4 seed, which means they're going to win in the first round. They're going to probably play Philadelphia in the second round, which would be awesome because they're going to beat the Atlanta Hawks. I like Atlanta. They ain't got it. That right there, some good drama. And that's what the NBA needs right now is a little bit more drama. They need a little bit more of that. And the Lakers, to be honest, what they need is some more games together. That's what they need. They need more chemistry set up. Anthony Davis looks like he's pretty healthy, so he should be good. Andre Drummond's looking awful right now, but it's because he ain't playing with nobody. He ain't really have to play with LeBron. And I'm not sure if anybody ever knew this, but I would have never expected Andre Drummond to go out there and lead the Lakers anywhere. He hasn't been able to do it in Detroit ever. Andre Drummond's not built to lead the team. Andre Drummond is built to be a piece to the team, in which why I like him in LA. He's a great piece to help with Anthony Davis and LeBron James and Dennis Schroeder. Those guys really ain't been playing. So let's leave it at that. So because of this, they don't have the chemistry they're going to need really to get through the playoffs. But the good thing for them is if they win, their first round pick is between the Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz. And I'm going to tell you this. Neither one of those teams is beating the Lakers in the first round. That actually might be a good thing. They could be the next Houston Rockets. And just go win the championship from the 7th seed. What's wrong with that? Who has an issue with that? Huh? I think it's actually a good thing for them that they can potentially do that. Because, I mean, the Rockets, they were third. It was at 94, 95. Oh, man. It was, 95 playoffs. They beat the Jazz in the first round, which was even more hilarious that actually happened. It was 6 seed, my bad. So the Lakers could be the first 7 seed to do. I thought the Rockets were a 7. They were a 6 seed, my bad. Lakers be the first 7 seed to go through. You win the championship probably. I don't know if there's a 7 seed that's ever done it. I can go look it up. But I don't want to right now. My point is, they're not going to lose to Utah or Phoenix, especially when healthy. If they're not healthy, that's a different story. But it looks like LeBron's going to be about as healthy as he needs to be. Anthony Davis is looking better. He scored 42 and beat the Suns without LeBron. So that tells me if they match up against them again and Dennis Schroeder comes back, they're going to beat them. It's probably the best case scenario. So the Lakers need to beat Golden State first, get into the playoffs as a 7 seed. That way they match out with Phoenix, and they just beat up on Phoenix and win it 4-1, which is what I expect. Love Chris Paul, but he's not going to be able to do anything with that. And it's going to be fun. So this is probably going to be the most exciting week of the entire NBA season, is this right here. And NBA, you better make sure you do this up right. Make this good. Make this big production. Hell, find a way to get fans in there. Do COVID testing beforehand, something. Rapid testing. I don't care. Find a way of doing it. Because it's going to be so much fun watching the Lakers and Warriors play pre-first round, and then hopefully Golden State can win their game, get in and play Utah first round, and we can have a good chance of the number 1 and the number 2 seed getting knocked out on the West side. I would love it. And then at the same time, on the other side, Boston's injury might have hurt my chances, but the way it looks, there's a good chance that Brooklyn still's going to lose it, maybe the first round, possibly the second, like I expect. So I ain't have to worry about it. Doubling down on the guys. Nets are done in the second round.